4 versus 3, the re-engage, Wild Turtle's eyes, 2 members left of TSM, the Nexus is falling, would you believe it, Team 8 take down Team SoloMid.
In a completely unexpected result.
Hey everyone, hey all League fans, welcome back to the Caster Desk. I am joined by Mr. Sam Kobe Hartman-Kensler, a true League expert. And as you saw just a few seconds ago, some of the plays from the last time these teams faced off all the way in Week 1. We're going to see if history repeats itself again today as Team SoloMid takes on Team 8. Now, Team 8 are actually riding the longest current winning streak in the North American LCS. They're actually 2 games out of second place. They've got a 4-game winning streak.
Yeah, Team 8 really is coming into its own. At the start of the split, their tendency was to put a lot onto Cali Trolls and follow his lead. But now we're seeing Porpoise giving more attention mid to Slushy and get him ahead, and then have both players roam around to influence the other lanes. Also, they used to say that they look to win games through their team fighting. However, they are showing much more diverse strategies now.
Yeah, the skirmishing actually pretty good by Team 8 overall. Now, Team SoloMid, well, they've been broadening their horizons. They were able to get a win in yesterday's very close game against WinterFox, but the players, you know, they really didn't think they performed as well as they should have.
Yeah, the team have been focusing on other types of playstyles for international events. But there have been some growing pains, and even though they got the win yesterday, there were plenty of areas that could definitely be improved still. Now, right now, all the teams representing North America at IEM Katowice are going in without very much momentum.
Yeah, honestly, a close win by C9 and then TSM, just a close win right now. We'll see if they can get some off of Team 8. But TSM acknowledged that they've been using their games in the North American LCS. Actually, it's a testing ground. They say the new strategies could make the difference when they do play on the international stage.
I think what separates us right now is that we just have this like 1 or 2 play styles that we're just really good at, and I believe that when we play these styles, we're definitely the best team in NA, but right now we're trying to branch out, we're trying to do different things because we don't want to just be the best team in NA, we want to be able to play at a world's level, and if we just have 1 or 2 play styles, the best teams in the world are going to be able to counter that.
Well, we'll see if that does happen. We'll see them internationally in a week, but right now they're facing Team 8. And to get the game started, we will check out the starting lineups. On the blue side, Team SoloMid. Dyrus, Santorin, Bjergsen, Wild Turtle, Lustboy, and Loco their coach.
And on the red side, it's Team 8. Up top, Cali Trolls. In the jungle, Porpoise. Mid Slushy, 80 carry Maple Street, and support Dodo.
I know, we'll see if Coach Matt Schmeider can keep these guys doing well. I was like calling them out, you know. Like the old graphic had all their faces on, that we couldn't see the coach back then. These ones that Europe uses a lot, you get the coach down in the bottom. I like giving them credit. You got to say, teams that turn themselves around, that actually adapt quickly. I used to think it was really hard for teams to adapt in the middle of a split, even when it was the old like 10-week style or 11-week style from last year. But we're actually seeing a couple teams actually grow really quickly, and it's very impressive to see that.
I do like seeing the success stories where challenger teams come into the LCS looking to improve by playing against LCS teams, and actually we get to see tangible improvements.
Yeah. When Team 8 came through beating Complexity, I believe it was actually 3-2. They went 2-0, then dropped 2, then finally took Game 5, and they were like super overjoyed. But Team 8 right now are sitting in a tie for 4th.
Yes.
With 5 games. Like, that is better than most teams, most people, period, expected Team 8 to do. These guys have a real run, not only making playoffs, but challenging these top teams. Now, we'll see if that does end up happening. The, like, 17th straight Aurelia ban against Cali Trolls here. Team SoloMid not wanting to deal with that. Zed away from Bjergsen. They've realized his split push power is quite strong.
There's the LeBlanc as well. More targeted bans from TSM. Slushy not going to get his hands on that champion once again. And you mentioned, you know, Team 8's success sort of against the top teams. This is the only team that TSM hasn't beat in the entire league. Team 8 took the first matchup between these two guys, and they want to make it a clean sweep here.
Well, no Slushy LeBlanc, as you mentioned. No Morgana for Dodo ain't either. Team 8 keeps saying, TSM, please play the new styles. Don't go back to Bjergsen solo carrying. Don't play Zed. Don't play Ari.
Yeah, just in case you were thinking of having Bjergsen on Assassin, we're going to take a few of those out.
Think about Team WE. Think about IEM. Think about those champions. Team 8, they smartly banned Cali Trolls' own Maokai away. Don't play that either. Dyrus. I want the 1v1 fights. the Zed, the Gragas, that's what teammates been good at overall. Maybe even the Rumble. We'll see what TSM want. Now, every jungler is up right here.
Yeah, every jungler is up because so many bans were focused on this mid lane. And when Slushie also had success, it wasn't only on LeBlanc. It was also on Orianna. He had a very decent Orianna game. And she's a really good all-around mid-lane pick, especially with so many assassins already being banned out here. So Team 8 may go back to that more team-oriented style, have Slushie on Orianna, look for some more Wombo-y combos.
Yeah. And especially with the LeBlanc ban, though, as well. Like, if you wanted to play a more individualistic champion, well, the Ahri's gone. Team 8 actually banned that themselves. So if they're going to keep playing skirmish, if they're going to keep playing these sort of 1v1 all-star champions, I want to know what Slushie's going to find for himself. Team 8 recognizing all junglers are up.
So they take two of them.
Yeah! Why not? Santorin, not the biggest Nidalee type player, though. Porpoise is already locked in his own Rek'Sai. Happy to play her one more time. Been very successful on that champ so far.
Yeah, I really like his diligence that he has with his ward control as far as junglers go. He gets early Sightstone on almost all of his junglers. Rek'Sai is really good at keeping those up across the map as well, and Janna will do her part as well, speeding up the rest of the team. This is 5.4 where they changed the passive a bit, and you have to move towards her to get the extra speed boost.
Yeah, and she's a lot slower when W's down. We'll see if that makes much of a difference here for Team 8. And that does mean they have denied Lustboy one extra champion. The Morgana was banned by TSM. The Janna picked away.
Yeah. I was actually talking to them before the game earlier in the team rooms, and I was wondering if they were going to ban away Lustboy's Janna, but they decided to first pick it instead. He's played so many games on it, and when they had him on Annie, the engage support rather than disengage was one of the few games that TSM dropped.
That's true, yeah, when Impulse beat them up. So we'll see. The hover on Nidalee. I don't know of any games Santorin's actually played her, though. And it's not his normal style.
I do know that he was practicing it back when the craze first broke out, though. So he's put in the work in solo queue at least. You're right, though. He has not pulled it out for the team in LCS. However, they want to bring out the different strategies. That doesn't mean just different champions for Bjergsen. Santorin as well going to play the pokey style.
All right, so TSM have locked in their top 3 spots here. Lissandra in the mid lane for Bjergsen. He was very good at that last time he played it when they absolutely destroyed.
Now, if they are going to do so much AP with a double AP plus an AP jungler, I really would like to see a, well, obviously not Corki AD, but a hard carry like endgame, like a Jinx or something from Wild Turtle. Because they definitely will need to keep that AD threat real to dissuade teammates from simply stacking magic resist on someone like Gragas. A Spirit Visage is the perfect item anyway, so he'll be happy to go that route.
Well, let's see how many Abyssal Scepters will be in this game. It could be 4, could be 0. I'm going to say
at least 2.
At least 2.
At the very least 2.
I'm going to say at least 2, unless you have like a 12-minute surrender somehow. Orianna 1 and 3, Slushie. Pretty much most of those stats are just him. But you know that one Orianna win this split is Team 8 over TSM. We'll see if you can replicate that. The Gragas 1-0 for Cali Trolls. It's an AP Gragas, by the way.
Yeah, the ultimates from those 2 AP champions do not exactly sync up, though.
No.
So we'll have to see if the coordination works. I mean, you can, if you get the Orianna ult to set up a nice Gragas ultimate, then it's kind of like bowling pin strategy. The Orianna
knock them all in.
Yeah, Orianna will set them all up, and Cali is going to knock them all down.
This is a good comp if Maple Street wanted to play Yasuo, by the way. Everyone can set him up.
You know, Yasuo AD carry bottom has been used a couple times in my experience. However, I've never experienced success with it on my team.
That's fair. I don't think it's going to happen either way, but one can dream. Either way, teammate really good at mispositioning the enemy team. Yeah, Graves is pretty.
He's definitely fond of the champion. Plus, it works with AoE.
I hear you want to start fights, teammate. Would you like a global stun?
Interesting.
Unlikely all the same. So Annie Sivir does come through for TSM. Morgana banned, Janna picked. Annie, not a surprise at all. Sivir for a Wild Turtle. He's been playing the team fight utility AD carries a fair bit here. TSM, I mean, very much about the 5v5 with the fallback pattern of Santorin throws javelins.
Yeah, and they do have the AoE from AD threat. So it's not the Jinx, really scary endgame hyper carry, but so much mid-game area of effect attack damage from Sivir. Definitely will keep you honest make you build a bit of armor.
Huh, interesting that he goes for Lucian, actually. With every other AD carry up on the table, Maple Street defaults to him. Now, it is pretty hard to spell Shield Piercing Light, though you can. But overall, it's going to make him very mobile. I mean, Lucian Jan is really good at getting into and out of fights, so maybe they can dodge away from TSM's attempted engages, but I got to see what teammate actually want to do with this team composition. Cali Trolls can duel. Porpoise and Slushy can go make plays. They've got decent delivery for shockwaves.
It is going to be, you know, Rek'Sai is an okay delivery, and Gragas can as well body slam in. But I feel like Slushy, the first time he had so much success, he was setting up even most of his own shockwaves.
Yeah, he was.
We'll see if he's able to carry the ball himself.
Yeah, he's primarily queuing off of people, just letting him get it in, and then pot it off on the side. No one can flash out, no big deal. Gonna see what happens in this one, though. Yeah, it's the sound, right? It's actually close to the sound effect of Command Attack, actually.
Can you do the Command Dissonance, though? That one's rough.
Sounds like a broken radio. The coaches walk off screen, and we're going to have ourselves a game shortly as the players load up. TSM continuing the trend of seeing, hey, people playing team fight comps. That's what we're going to play as well. It's not just Bjergsen, it's the whole team.
Yeah.
And teammate, they've got the Orion in there.
Back to their old ways.
Back to
TSM
their old
team
ways.
fight, very, very intimidating.
LeBlanc gone, so that's what's going to happen. Now, guys at home, who do you think is going to rack up this win? Tweet hashtag TSM winner, hashtag T8 win to @LOL Esports. We will be tracking the vote once we are in game. TSM, they are in first place. They're probably going to remain in first place, but if they want it, they got to win here and show that they're worth it in Poland. Team 8 have the chance to move on up the standings with this game. So, TSM, they are at 10 wins right now, putting them one above Cloud9, putting them one above CLG, and two above Liquid and everyone else in fourth.
Yep.
Team 8, though, they're one of those teams in fourth. They are not far away.
Looking to climb standings for the playoffs.
Sorry, 3 away from TSM. First, fourth is 3 games apart.
Those models are almost exactly the same size as far as top lane champions go. Pretty even matchup there. Cali Trolls is able to get the first scratch onto Dyrus.
All right. Scratch the paint of Rumble. Thankfully, it's not Super Galaxy, so it's like cruddy paint anyway. It's like really easy to fix.
Yeah.
You know, it's junkyard paint. Cali Trolls, by the way, has no sound right now, so we're going to QA that real quick. Shouldn't be too long. Now, Jet bet that it was only a few seconds last time around. He was wrong.
Jet doesn't get a say anymore. He left the desk.
That's why we replaced him.
Yeah. Don't worry, Freak. You know I would never leave you.
Aw, thank you, Kobe.
Because when you need me, I'll be there for you. When it begins to pour, I'll be there for you.
You're so sweet, Kobe. Thank you very much for the serenade as we get Cali Trolls suited up here in this one. So, I actually, thing is, I'm overall not really sold on teammates' comp. I'm just
it is a bit wonky.
I'm not sure what they're trying to do. Like, so by the way, Janna has still an atrociously low win rate in the NA LCS. There's only been like 30-ish games. The sample size isn't great. But it's like a 38% win rate champion.
A lot of the wins come from TSM though.
Yeah, because it's all Lust Boy
from
play.
actually Lust Boy winning with it.
Yeah.
So I kind of liked. That's why I liked the takeaway there. However, the follow-up picks were a bit confusing. This seemed a little bit disjointed.
Yeah.
I mean, you say you have 2 champions that do have dashes to sort of get good ball placement, but especially the Gragas and Orianna, unless they pull off the bowling pin strategy.
Yeah,
You don't usually see those together.
Right. It just feels like the engaged teams tend to actually do better. That as much as people say the turrets are really strong, well, you just fight for dragons and barons, and those fights still seem to work out.
Yeah, especially if you're facing a team that has Nidalee on it, which is essentially one champion poke squad there is all you need. And then they also have, Rumble and Sivir on top of this. Doesn't seem like teammate have the tools to deal with TSM's composition, which seems a bit more put together. But we will see. Because the possibility for outplay is always there.
Yeah, absolutely.
And Cali Trolls has really been a huge fan of this Gragas.
Yeah, and he had a great score with it last time, his last Gragas game, 7-2-7 against Gamsu, who's been one of the stronger top laners so far in the NA LCS. That's a guy who had a lot of good results, but all the same, it was a good performance, and we'll see. Dyrus has been, I would say, hit and miss in his top lane. He's normally left 1v3 for a large portion of the game, and TSM says, well, look, we're going to learn to practice to gank these other lanes. But if Dyrus is left alone and Cali Trolls does get a farm lead, like Dyrus building MR is like almost an awkward build path because you like want the flat pen items that aren't Abyssal, you like want the Zonias, and this leaves you bullyable by a Gragas, so there's always the chance of, as you mentioned, the outplay, as you mentioned sort of the 1v1 matchups, and you mentioned also teammate going back to the old school style, hey, Cali Trolls can like go win teammate the game.
Easy, right? Well, that's what people were saying when teammate first got into the LCS. They were thinking it was going to be, hey, Cali Trolls, go win the game. And that was going to be what the whole team was about. But they've branched out. They've grown so much since those days.
They have.
See if they can pull it off. The other thing about Dyrus is he's been playing the game for so long, and he has sort of this pattern. He rarely has a game where he gets, heavily ganked and dies, as we just saw.
Yeah.
And then he almost always fixes those issues for the next game. He does not forget a beating. Dyrus has taken quite a few beatings in League of Legends in his days, but he remembers all of them, and he learns from them. So,
yeah, he's one of the very few players in the North American LCS who was at the Season 1 World Championship.
Yes.
Like him and Doublelift, I think, are the only ones remaining with that title at this point here. In NA, of course, like Yellow Star works for EU and things like that, but certainly, yeah, he's been around. A lot of experience on him. He always credits his adaptability as the reason he's still on the #1 team in North America right now. And as we go around and talk about players, by the way, we're looking at maybe 1 minute left on this pause.
Yeah.
We're thinking that's going to be fixed up very, very soon here. And in fact, I think the players are saying ready right now, so way less than 1 minute. But some of the players we don't talk about almost at all are Maple and Dodo of Team 8. And they're certainly not the playmakers of the team. They get very little recognition, but they've been fairly consistent in their results. I see pretty much positive scorelines for Maple practically every single game, win or loss. I see literally one game in his history where he's got more deaths than kills. Once in 13 games.
All right. Audio issue fixed. Game back on. Some defensive wards, pretty much nothing to speak of. So we're going to have fairly standard teams here and fairly standard setup with normal lanes. Usually that keys you into thinking that, ooh, never mind. The duo lane actually swapping up here as I think they got a peek of Dyrus.
No, it's a totally normal 4-1-0 lane matchup, bro.
Yes. Completely standard. All right, Porpoise going to start top side, though. Still only defensive wards, and they will get the lane swap.
I want to see what jungle paths actually come out here. So Cali Trolls can go for Wolves at level 1. He has learned Body Slam for that privilege.
Yeah. Top laners nowadays, if you're not going to start a camp, you really need to be getting something tremendous out of it as far as your entire team comp is concerned. Because going into top lane without that extra golden experience, it's really, really difficult in the current stage of the game. Kali going to do his best here. Might have to chug a potion.
Yeah, hit the little one leashed twice.
Yeah, all right. He really didn't want to have to chug a potion, but goes for it. And he's fine.
He's later to lane than he wants to be, though. Yeah. These extra 4 auto attacks here are not what he wanted. By the way, mid lane, though, the first gank by Last Boy. Slushy, nice and low, burns his flash already.
Definitely one of the more effective level 1 support ganks that we've seen. It is fairly common in the 2 versus 1 lane swap scenario that we see those, but rarely do you see not only the summoner, but also forcing him out of lane. So that's actually a huge, huge bonus for Bjergsen. Forcing Slushy back to base as well as taking down his flash.
Yeah. Essentially a late flash, meaning he takes all that damage. Bjergsen now going to have a gigantic lead. You notice he's trying to freeze the wave, and in fact, there are more enemy minions than allies, so he will actually just deny a ton of experience and gold from Slushy.
Yeah, definitely not the start you want against Team SoloMid, who, even though they are diversifying, Bjergsen a ridiculous threat on this team, and Santorin already attracted because there's no flash on the mid laner. I don't know why he wouldn't approach after the spear throw, but maybe not enough confidence in his Nidalee play. Didn't feel like he could follow up on that on the flashless Orianna.
Yeah, so instead we watch as the duo laners are 2v1ing against the top laners. Right now Calitroll's farming what he can with barrels. Of course, the extra level 2 from starting at the Wolf Camp helping him a bit. Dyrus a bit slow on the harpoons, misses 2.
Sticking around here in lane though. Still getting experience, still getting gold. He'll probably call Santorin over if that lane gets out of hand because it is pressing back against Team 8 right now. Dyrus though, pushing up in the lane, has to start worrying about a gank from Rek'Sai. And Santorin does not look to be headed top, so
Wow.
that puts Dyrus in a fairly difficult situation.
Speaking of difficult situations, another recall from Slushy. Just for a second Doran's ring. Oof. So it's another wave he's going to lose under his turret. Just a crap ton of golden experience lost by this Orianna. Easily going to be slower to level 6. Bjergsen gets a decent aggressive ward just over the wall.
Very, very predictable jungler movement here though.
Right, knock up, there's the jump over. Dyrus will flash, but the knockup comes in anyway. Surprise! 1v3 on Dyrus. The kill goes to Maple.
I really thought he was going to back off when it passed midway on top, or call up Nidalee, who was on the top side, to shove it in the lane, try and bounce it.
Yeah.
There were so many moves for TSM to make there, and they just kind of played it fairly lazy.
Yeah, he had the Scuttler killed by Santorin not long ago, so there's only one gank route. But hey, he went through Tribe.
Yeah,
I snuck right in.
Your one gank route is like the most common, most effective gank route.
That's fair.
So rough start here again for Dyrus. So maybe it will be that Cali type of game if they meet back up. Cali, though, not having the easiest time himself.
Yeah, that man is also denied quite a bit. Maple Street already has enough money for a BF sort if they recall here. TSM pushing the wave at about 6 minutes in. This is kind of like the earliest you can really foreman it and get good progress. But Calitroll's done by Lustboy. The Javelin comes in, the flash, Santorin gets the kill. Calitroll's also overstaying. He has no reason to be there.
Top laner for top laner. This time, Santorin does have the confidence to follow up on his spear because set up with a beautiful stun from Lustboy. What a combo. Yeah, top laner for top laner. Both of them go down, so back to even footing here.
Slushy recalled again. This time for a Forbidden Idol here. Just repeated backs. This Orianna now down 13 minions, about to be more than that.
And the experience is really what's going to cost him. Lissandra getting to level 6 first.
Slushy's not even 5 yet.
Yeah, and Bjergsen is level 6 now. Level 6 versus level 4 mid laner. Still no flash, and it's Lissandra. Santorin should absolutely make a beeline for mid lane and destroy him before the flash comes back up.
Oh, Slushy, he's not even running magic resist glyphs. He's got just the base 30 and on the ball on his head.
He could be a dead man right now.
Look at this freeze.
Lissandra is basically the best at setting up ganks.
Yep.
The control mage. Porpoise, though, also knows that the best move for Santorin would be mid, so comes for the counter gank. Supports start roaming at this stage of the game because we just had bottom lane's recall, and everybody populates the mid lane.
All right, support and jungle are both there for each team. Bjergsen, though he had the wave on his side of the river, he's trying to keep it there. You can see how far away Slushy has to farm. He knows he is just a Lissandra ult away from death if Nidalee's around. And Lustboy right now, due to this kind of pressure, is happy to kill away a lot of these wards.
And even though, both bottom lanes recalled at the same time, both junglers came to the bottom side of the map, the edge in mid lane pressure is what allows TSM to invade on this blue side jungle. Both of the supports came back with extra wards to place. However, TSM, because they have so much power centered around the mid lane matchup, are the ones who get to place their wards deep inside the enemy jungle. So they're going to be the ones who get to dictate the early stages of this game. And especially on a jungle champion like Nidalee, who's so mobile and can have such an early impact, should be Santorin with the early influence. Porpoise, though, just fine, taking out his red. Does get to level 6 very quickly, and Rek'Sai ultimate available, can jump right back out on the Rift.
Yeah, but speaking of level 6 quickly, by the way, Dyrus is a full level above Calitrolls. After the lane swap shenanigans, after they both died once, well, Dyrus found more experience. A full level up right now, 6-5, still holding that advantage. And it means that, that Calitrolls win condition, I don't really think it's going to be there for a while.
Yeah.
Double Doran's Ring can try to bully out, but I don't see him making any easy headway in that matchup. Porpoise will try to secure his own blue buff. And actually TSM bullying them around Calitrolls is 6 here. Gets some damage on a Dyrus. Does he want to ult him back in?
Got minions.
He does so indeed, but Dyrus now unsilenced. Pops Equalizer. Decent damage on a Cali. Clears the wave. He's going to try anyway. Lands the Q. Good bit of burst. 100 health left. Dyrus answers back.
Top lane fights got so much less exciting when all top laners have to take teleport out. There's no ignites for either one. So yeah, Dyrus is going to escape there. However, his team grabbed Dragon because of their deep wards inside the blue jungle, and Italy extremely quick at taking the Dragon early. Sivir wants to pop ultimate and run on Maple Street. However, he backs at the perfect time.
And Maple's got money for a pickaxe, and with the 20 CS lead, he's actually going to have that spike a little bit before Wild Turtle, and maybe this teammate bottom lane can win. You saw the top lane brawl. That was close. Kali, though, without a lot of money to buy many items, might not be able to really keep pushing Dyrus around. Dyrus TP's back in, which means that's nice and safe. Kali does the same. No Dragon up, so whatever. But it's Haunting Guys versus not a Sheen, so winning the fight or not, Dyrus has better items.
I like the classification. Let's see, though. Kali definitely looking to throw his weight around in this lane. And Rek'Sai going to come up and help, it looks like. Because Porpoise already counter-jungled that side. Doubt he's going to return in there. Gets seen by the wards, though. Pops back to his own side of the jungle.
Okay.
Interesting here. Is Turtle freezing down? Nah, he's pushing down bottom.
Yeah, interestingly, the top lane turret, by the way, did not die in the whole lane swap shenanigans. Teammate never actually finished that turret off. They killed Dyrus, but they didn't kill the turret. So it's actually gold, just kind of not there for teammates. 1,000 gold lead largely from that turret kill of TSM.
Yeah, literally all of TSM's outer turrets are all at 100% health right now.
Wow. Slushi flashes for the Liss ulti. That's a cooldown I'd take. Loses all his health from a javelin.
The accuracy so far from Santorin. He hasn't thrown many shots, but when he does throw the spears, he makes them count.
Yeah, they're practically free throws there. Just high percentage shots. Nice ward kill by TSM. The auto reset helping.
Practice makes perfect for free throws, so Santorin with the same philosophy on Nidalee. Putting in his practice time in solo queue beforehand. See if they can actually gain anything out of this jungle pressure, though. Doesn't look like they'll be able to pick anyone. And not finding the pink ward either. Good rotation over to mid, though.
Oh, Toto just warded that. I think he sees it now. Yeah, down it goes, but mid lane under pressure with 4. You can see how far back teammate are forced to play. Just the ward and lane control game right now. Definitely going TSM's way.
Yeah, Slushi's so behind. He's even having a trouble wave clearing here with Orianna. And while Dodo can lend the shield to the turret, they're definitely struggling. As the early grouping from Jungle Nidalee with her jungle item combined already provides a lot of poke. Way more than you're used to seeing around the 11-12 minute mark.
And Calitrolls, you talk about items and everything, roamed mid for literally he got a trinket ward down and lost 4 minions in the top lane wave. He's just like giving Dyrus advantages now at this point, who's getting now boosted speed, another amp tome, just still scaling up. Calitrolls has a long way to go till he's relevant in this game, unfortunately, for teammate fans here. And TSM continue to press their advantages. They're getting turret damage, they're getting wards up.
Yeah, the wards are going to start playing a role here too, because it's only a matter of time between a Sivir plus Annie lane roaming around in your jungle before they catch somebody out. You have to be very, very careful, especially if Bjergsen ever leaves mid lane and he starts to roam around with Lissandra. The picks, definitely scary here from TSM. So far, though, Bjergsen has been concentrating on keeping Slushi down, just increasing his minion lead, trying to deny experience. He's done a good job of it so far. 2 levels, the difference.
Interesting. So a quick lane swap by TSM. They've put Dyrus bot lane here. They've put Bjergsen top, actually.
Oh, he wants that solo kill.
They put that dual lane mid. Oh, yeah, he's got a gigantic item lead.
AD carry is the perfect target for a fed mid laner, and he's coming up on level 11. A level 2 Lissandra ultimate would absolutely annihilate Maple Street. Looks like they are going to swing up with multiple people, though, and try to poke down, pressure this turret once again. Lust Boy here with the stun.
Santorin's there, too. 3v1. Well, Maple Street, this is what Dyrus feels like every single game. Lissel comes in, Santorin
comes
shows
Porpoise,
up,
though.
Bjergsen, he's got to be careful. Porpoise does want this one. Slowed down. He's not going to miss. He does, but he's going to trade his life, I think. No, Dodo shows up, but Tibbers turns it around. Ulti by Dodo. Monsoon does not catch. The Javelin sure does. TSM 3-1 in that fight.
Yeah, that's going to be the top turret as well. They can even continue pressuring here. At the same time, Slushy's trying to make the best of the situation and shove a minion wave into the turret, but this is the first turret damage that they've gotten all game long, and he will not be able to take it, as we see Lesboy and Santorin quickly moving down. Turtle's got his back as well. Will Kali be enough to dissuade them?
Goes into Wild Turtle. This is a bit aggressive. Ulta misses. Easy
turret
sidestep.
shots. Whoa, buddy.
Calitros, one more auto, has to flash away. Wild Turtle is ignited. There's a shockwave, and Team 8 bait in Wild Turtle. Oh! Nope.
All right. Misplays and baits. The line is blurred.
That's fair.
we'll see what TSM can get after this. Because they're only left with their solo lanes, actually. Just Bjergsen and Dyrus, very late to the party here in mid lane.
Crucially, though, a lot of ultimates are missing for Dragon. Teleports are up.
Yeah.
But mid laners both missing them.
Yeah,
Support's both missing them.
And
Wild
Dyrus
Turtle missing his.
he just used the Rumble ultimate to look for a 400 health Gragas.
Yeah.
There's no way you're going to kill off that Kali Trolls. But no Rumble Equalizer and crab control for Team 8 looks good for them.
Yeah, Calitros walks top of him. He's got teleport. It's pretty safe. Maple Street, by the way, Bloodthirster first. So really, Lifesteal Focus does not want to die to the Wombo combo. Calitros spotted by Bjergsen. Root. Slow's not going to land for much. Calitros trying to get away, but this is going to be a kill for Bjergsen. Takes him down 1v1 as payment of Dragon.
Payment received for Team 8. They do cash in on the Dragon. So the Bloodthirster first. Now we've seen this sometimes in conjunction with Janna, you know, to stack up really big shields and try and push down turrets early. They're so far behind in turrets though.
Yeah.
To get that back. Right now he's working on one in the bottom lane, but Dyrus definitely wants to stop his efforts at the moment. And Bloodthirster or not, Dyrus does have decent wave clear here on Rumble.
He's already got a Leandries as well. Pretty early clip for that. No Sork shoes, but who cares? Takes the minion waves down pretty quickly. Dyrus keeping his turrets more or less afloat here. Very little turret pressure, as you were saying, by Team 8. TSM holding a 3,500 gold lead. 2 turrets to 0, 5 kills to 3. We know tier 2 turrets are pretty hard to kill, but TSM still getting plenty around this map so far.
Let's see what they decide to do too, because grouping up is definitely in TSM's favor as well. So Team 8 have to be very, very careful about where they pick their fight. They really do need a number advantage to pull out a win. Calitrolls bringing 2 people to the top side is a good start to that, because he does have teleport as well. Maple Street down here with Dyrus, if they get too entangled, well, never mind. Rek'Sai Ultimate will not be one of the tools that Team 8 can use. Ooh. He uses the Rek'Sai Ultimate to get back out onto the field quicker so that he can take that spear.
Yeah. And then check a potion, heal it back up.
Nice.
No biggie. Mid lane under fire. See, not expect him to hit all the time.
Man, how do you miss a Prey Seeker on a stationary minion?
You click in the wrong spot. That's how I do it.
A+ investigative journalism.
It's easy.
TSM, though, happy to wait here. They've got a Rod of Aegis first incoming for Santorin, it looks like, after his jungle. Bjergsen going to solo him again.
Coming for Calitrolls. E over.
They hear the CC.
Jumps
There's
up.
Yeah.
Ignites on. That's a kill. Nicely done. Bjergsen again. 3-1-1 TSM. Playing the way TSM used to. Bjergsen's Lysandra
is solo killing people?
Yeah, that's pretty much the normal TSM style. They have adapted Lysandra into him, He's only played that as of kind of recently.
Yeah.
That was a quick pickup for TSM.
And the other thing is we have seen people misplay the Lissandra combo, right?
Yeah. Sure.
Ring of Frost right after their ultimates for very little damage.
Yeah.
Bjergsen, though, wastes the entire duration, even for Cali Trolls to try and make his getaway before layering. And basically, you just want to get the maximum number of Qs. So, another good assassination there from Bjergsen, and Cali Trolls really hurting right now.
And Bjergsen really is
quite a few unforced errors.
Yeah, honestly, 0-3-1, not a great start for him. But to talk about Bjergsen, though, he really is going for that sort of bursty style, right? Stork shoes instead of the cooldown boots. Also, Alacrity enchant, to get around the map and find those picks even more frequently. Bjergsen really trying to make these plays to set TSM up.
Yeah, plus the vision game for TSM started early on. Right after the first back of supports, the lane swap back, immediately Lustboy takes advantage of their mid lane power, gets really deep wards down, and I don't think Teammate have had a ward on TSM's side of the jungle the entire game.
Yeah, I doubt that. And a good pink ward line ensures that never happens in the future either. TSM doing a good job of letting Teammate sit in their own base, but never coming into TSM's side. 6-3. 4,000 gold. The lead keeps growing. Team SoloMid have yet to kill the mid lane outer turret thanks to Slushy's camping there. But that's kind of okay.
They've grouped up now, and he just backed. So there's a wave to work with. If Santorin comes over to the mid lane, they can finally grab that mid turret they're looking for. The last of the outers falling. Jungle ward's already in place on the bottom side, prepped for Dragon, a full minute and a half in advance. TSM very easily can stack Dragons up. They have such a huge advantage.
Well, they're going to stack up blue buffs right now. Looks like that's going to be plenty clean. The deep ward control helping them quite a bit in making that happen. Bjergsen level 13 with a blue buff here, enjoying nice CDR. See Porpoise sees wards in his own jungle with his Raptor buff. He just knows there's pretty much nowhere he can go without being spotted.
Yeah, he's definitely going to smite Raptor on cooldown, even though he has Chilling Smite. The value that you get from that Raptor camp clear is essential when you're playing against a team, especially with jungle Nidalee and Lissandra as powerful as she is right now.
Ward battles. Time and again, we're seeing pink ward traded for green ward, and Lustboy just replaces it. It's like, yeah, okay.
Lustboy gets the last laugh. He also, speaking of, boot enchants, has got a really early distortion boot enchant, so flash engages. He will not hesitate to go for those, especially if Wild Turtle is in the area. Such good chase from TSM possible with this team.
Well, this is the build Lustboy does every single time. Look at that Forbidden Idol he's got in the inventory. That is the key component of Talisman of Ascension, which he's gone for almost every Annie game. Stops on Spell Thieves, gets the Distortion Mobies, gets the Sight Stone, and then Talisman of Ascension, start fights all the time. I like this build a lot. I really think it's very, very strong. I like the Lustboy does it.
All right, well, here's their Dragon. Arrived right on time. Vision line that we mentioned before. Too much for Teammate to penetrate. Just try and bide their time. Hopefully soak up enough gold to find an advantageous numbers advantage in a skirmish.
Yeah. And it just feels like TSM able to play the comp the way they want. Dairos holds onto the side. Isn't really getting done. Nothing really happens to him. Bjergsen, actually given one of the long lanes to try to pick up solo kills, does so. The TSM, rest of that roster just sits there in one of the contested lanes and just farms. And Wild Turtle actually built ACS lead back over Maple despite having lost early out. When they swapped back, there was an early lead for the Lucian Janna lane, except those guys aren't getting turret pressure. They're not bullying these lanes. This Bloodthirst now just means a power trough. Maple, going for a Trinity for a second, means he's going to have no damage in team fights.
Well, at this moment, he's got a decent amount of flat attack damage and a little bit of burst from Sheen.
Yeah,
so
he can kill turrets, but we've still not seen turrets go down.
Yeah.
Teammates aren't going to get that opportunity when they're pushed up to their base the whole time. I feel like Maple really needs team fight power to get them outside of their own base.
Yeah. Well, it is regardless of how they go about it, going to be a rough mid game here for Teammates because they're so far down. At the moment, TSM, they had Lustboy and Santorin walking through brush and using Bjergsen as bait. The only problem is Bjergsen's so fearsome that no one wants to move up in his lane anyway, so it's hard to use him as bait. It's like using a giant shark as your bait.
I was going to say lion, but I think yours makes more sense. Since, bait is
because it's
fish.
aquatic.
Yeah.
Bait is actually universal. You can use bait
That's true.
for land animals as well.
Like for a bear or something.
Or a donut for humans.
Yep. That baits me a lot. Thankfully, none had like claws around them, so it never really punished me.
I'll be sure to set up a freak trap next week LCS. Oh, we don't have Katowice is next weekend actually.
True.
So no Alex. That's even better. You'll forget about the trap. I'll set up a freak trap with a donut in the middle.
Or a book of puns. Just kidding, I've already read them all. Oh!
Dodo's read that one. Bjergsen unable to find the pick, but does burn the flash for nothing.
And that's the second, at least, straight buff steal by TSM. They took the blue not long ago onto Bjergsen. They stole the red on a Wild Turtle. And it just goes to show you how much control TSM has, that they can get the guy who wants the buff there in time to claim it.
Yeah. And also, you know, they've rotated their wards over to the top side of the jungle. After they took Dragon, they're not going to wait for the next spawn, not to keep their wards up on that side of the jungle. So they replace all the wards, put them up on this red buff style where Baron resides. And they will use that as bait.
He stood still, and Porpoise revealed by the trinket, forced to jump away. He still has flash. That was nice.
Every time people make that play, it reminds me of Jurassic Park, where he's trying to hide in the porta potty for the T-Rex. That didn't work out for him.
Nope. This one might, though. Shockwave teleport in for Cali Trolls as well. Dyrus is not going to get to the wall in time. Ignite secures the kill. Slushy.
Wow.
2-0.
That was a solo play. They didn't even have to burn the teleport. Cali Trolls didn't look like he got an assist for that even. So they didn't even need the numbers advantage. Here comes the Rek'Sai Scream, though. And the bait that they got a signal as Santorin moved into the...
Oh! Tibbers misses Lust Boy. One hit from dead. Back he goes. Slushy at half health, though. Tibber ulti means TSM will retreat.
Yeah. Abort mission after that. They definitely failed the initiation. So that means Team 8. Yeah. Dyrus still dead. He does have teleport, so there is a small possibility of re-engage, but without Silver Ultimate, without Flash or Tibbers from Annie, it's all up to Bjergsen.
Oh, Bjergsen goes in for Maple Street. Shields come in. Janna saves him. And Bjergsen's now alone. Pops Zonius to buy some time. Slushy flashes out. There's the equalizer. It means 1. It means 2. Actually, a trade back and forth. 2 for 1. The overall fight still comes out for TSM, though.
Oh. All right. So pressure on the turret as well, as teammate have to back from the chunking that they received. Dyrus teleport did come in. Equalizer follow-up was there for Bjergsen's initiation. A little bit forced.
Yeah.
But he was able to pull it off. He had to burn everything for it. But TSM able to grab the turret afterwards. So definitely worth. And that just goes to show how far ahead they are at this point. Even fumbling their Sivir and Annie combo, still able to go for the re-engage with Bjergsen having his flash up. And beautiful targeting here from Bjergsen, going straight for Maple. His Bloodthirster shield was already down from the previous engagement. And there's the equalizer from Dyrus coming in to cut off the rest of the team, allowing TSM to secure the kill on Cali.
Yeah. Unfortunately for them, the Cali Trolls explosive cask only knocked back Wild Turtle. As like Lysandre is like, I'm Zonius, whatever, wait for the team anyway. And seems like not enough time was bought. Bjergsen did lose his life for that fight, but a 2 for 1 still good. And TSM sitting 3 kills and 5,500 gold up is a pretty good place to be right now for TSM fans. They've knocked down mid lane tier 2, so even that line of turrets is falling. Dragon 3 for TSM up in 23 seconds. They have pretty good wards over that already. Every time I check, it's like, yeah, there's already vision. They've already prepared for Dragon. No big deal.
They swap their vision control, depending on which side they are going to populate. Dragon coming back up. They readjust. Now, they are trying to work out the kinks as well before Katowice. We mentioned, Cloud9 are flying right out after their LCS game. TSM also shortly following them. Going to prepare as well. They have had quite a few hiccups the last few weeks, testing a bunch of different strategies in the LCS. Santorin now getting his handle on the jungle Nidalee. Good score line. For him so far, but hasn't run into many obstacles that he's had to overcome so far this game.
That's true. Not a tough obstacle course. More like Guts, less like American Ninja Warrior.
I've never seen Guts, so that one goes right over my head, but
You haven't seen Guts?
no. Ninja Warrior is good.
Actually, I don't know if Guts is on air anymore. I might have just dated myself too badly.
Like was it the Legend of the Hidden Temple?
That's
Is that
another
the
one.
with the colors? Now that is a good one. Only older people will get that one though, so maybe we should stop. Dating ourselves.
No, inside jokes are the best. I want like really obscure chemistry puns now.
All right. We'll work on it.
What's an Australian's favorite element? Gold.
Australian ones are always good as well. Well, let's see. TSM focusing up on the top side as they have a giant wave down bottom, and teammate have not responded to this giant wave. So it's just going to crash into the bottom turret while TSM pressure mid and top. Trying to pull them across the map. Take advantage of Kali. Last few seconds where he does not have teleport. And for their efforts, they gain some damage onto this turret. Dodo gets there in time to shield, though.
Yeah. So no gigantic damage dealt, but still a little bit chipped off. TSM, though, all over this top lane jungle. Just nothing teammate can do to push them out. Slushy's 2-0-1 on Orianna, but you can see how much harder it is to make plays on Ori than LeBlanc, so his lead not meaning much. Whereas Bjergsen just kind of was crushing the mid game by himself.
Yeah, and you mentioned that. He even managed to pull off a solo kill with Orianna.
Yeah.
Very rare to see that happen.
Whoa, ulti comes off. Porpa is tanky, but takes a lot of damage. Now, can they do enough? Equalizer means no. 1 for nothing, but they trade back. Lustboy falls. Jungler for support. A lot of ultis burned.
Yeah, the shockwave annihilates Lustboy there. But as you said, it is the jungler for support, so teammate not going to have one of those front line bodies and not going to have the magic resistance aura, which is key versus TSM. So they have to give ground.
Yeah, truly concerning. So 8 ults were burned in that fight. Only Dodo and Santorin hold their ults here. Maple Street wants to duel and actually forces Bjergsen back. The Bloodthirster lifesteal, meaning he wins that fight.
It's the skirmishing sort of build here for Lucian, trying to turn him into a bruiser.
That's true, yeah. 1900 health plus a 260 point Bloodthirster shield. He also did run full MR glyph, so 42 magic resist. He's like a 2400 health AD carry. It's not bad.
Yeah, and with, Kali going full damage for his Gragas build pretty much, Lichbane into Athenes. Definitely going to have a lot of mixed sources to worry about.
Well, we do have the first Abyssal on the map. Cali Trolls did pick that up.
We promised there would be at least 2.
Yep.
So,
Well,
hopefully somebody
that
has.
blasting wand from Bjergsen's
TSM.
probably a death cap.
Yeah. We may be wrong on that one.
But we'll see.
No bets were made, though.
It's true.
No hats will be lost.
I don't know, man. Keep it up, and Zyron's going to cast for you next.
Oh, man, you're really running through your co-casters, Freak. You're going to be out of them. Jat left you after 1 game.
Engage comes in, though. Dodo's got to be careful. Equalizer is on, but they actually blow up the Nidalee first 1-for-1 all the same. Jungler for support the other way. Maple goes in, looks for Bjergsen. Wild Turtle trades him back. Double kill for Sivir. Porpoise falls as well. Lustboy picking one up. 3-1 TSM.
They're still on the hunt here. Slushy. Bjergsen's trying to keep him interested, and Wild Turtle is going deep.
He's trying to cut him off. 300-point shield.
What do you think are the percentage chance that Wild Turtle takes turret hits and just goes for the dive? Ah, he waits for the Tibbers.
Yeah, it's going to be Slushy dying. Kill to Dyrus. Not even the assist for Lust for a Wild Turtle.
Where did Kali run off to? I guess he recalled there somewhere in the mid lane or something.
4-1 overall TSA means they look at Baron?
They look at Baron.
No, they started Baron. They're on top of a ward, though. They do get spotted. Their sweeper will not likely see this. Oh, no. The Oracles means he does spot it after all, and that's going to be a Baron attempt without much interference. Dragonfly ults from top lane.
Gragas still packs a decent punch if you combo the barrels.
He's going to try.
And Bjergsen's so low, he might even get kills with it!
Oh, okay, Nidalee does pick it up, but some low health bars. Cali Trolls dies to Wild Turtle, though, in all the mix. And out goes TSM. 5 kills in a row for 1 death.
Okie dokie.
And a Baron TSM.
Yep. That's going to be a pretty big swing here. All right, so they ward him out, and then TSM just decided to charge it. They force this one, jump into the middle, get Slushy. Slushy doesn't do anything for this entire fight because Bjergsen, they were able to initiate on him and then zone him. So Maple was the main carry there, and with that turnaround, huge re-engagement from TSM, able to take out Maple Yeah, Solution, I don't think he got off any
No.
damage at all that entire fight.
And he had just shielded himself, so he couldn't put it on Maple. He was like walking around with command protect on him. And the Maple Street dive really ill-fated there.
All right, Baron buff TSM. 10,000 gold lead. Check, check, check.
Yep.
Time to rush down some turrets.
All right, tier 2 in the bot lane gonna fall without much contest. Dragon up in 5 seconds, and yeah, okay, TSM. Why not claim it? Dragon 4, minion damage pressure now gonna be added to the mix. They already run fast, they already kill turrets.
Also,
No contest.
just the stepping stone for number 5. And they coolly recall.
Not Wild Turtle, though. He's too wild for that. He's gonna stay out in the field.
Les Boy's trying to catch up to him. Come back here.
Hey, that is 4 bonus gold per minion if you let me wait. Les Boy gets a bit.
He has completed his talisman, by the way, that you're looking at.
Yeah.
And it looks like he's even going to go for a Righteous Glory on top of it.
Every game. It's the same build every single game
Where
with Les Boy.
engage on engage on engage.
Yep.
Now, talisman, and technically you can use it for disengage as well.
Yeah.
But it's not usually the way Les Boy runs.
And hey, despite running forward the entire game, 2-1-9, only 1 death on him. He's been part of 11 of his team's kills.
Yeah, and that was where he just barely got clipped by the end of the shockwave on the retreat.
Yeah.
All right, they've got him cornered. Turtle pressuring up mid, and he's got minions with him. So Turtle should be able to
Uncontested.
single-handedly take this thing down. Oh, Slushy!
Base gate.
Thank
keeps
goodness
safe.
for the space gates.
Doesn't matter, though. They didn't react to mid at all. Top lane tier 2 is just a bait. That's an inhibitor going down. Those are typically hard to kill. TSM does not have good sieging power, but the rotational play means they take it down just the same.
Yeah,
They've got away bot lane.
Too much of a lead here for TSM.
Bjergsen zones back the team, giving Wild Turtle even more time. The culling doesn't mean enough. Turtle's got to be smart with Spell Shield to not get cast in. He's fine. 2 inhibitor turrets now dead. 1 inhibitor itself already gone. TSM 15. Uh-oh. Oh, Shockwave misses. Slushy the target. He's going to go down 1 for 0. Dodo gets a knockback, but it doesn't even matter. Porpoise drops as well. This could be TSM winning it right here, right now. 36 minutes. Double inhibitor kill. There's a wave coming in from mid. There's a wave coming in from bot. Here comes the Nexus turret fights. Teammate 3v5. Can they do anything at all? Nexus turret number 1 goes down. Nexus turret number 2 and Maple Street as well under fire. That's going to be TSM holding on to first place. 2 wins in a row this week. Their spot in NA is secured. Now they've got to look to winning something internationally.
Yes. Fairly strong fashion. Both Cloud9 and TSM look much better today than yesterday.
Yeah.
Morale boosts right before they head onto the plane to fly over to Poland.
And we can see just another day at the office smiles, but a win TSM would have expected. Now the close game against Winter Fox yesterday might have shattered their confidence just a little bit. This one seemed to be in control. They played standard TSM style. Let Bjergsen do cool things. Let Lustboy get wards down, control the objectives. Pretty much standard stuff here. Now Team 8 are temporarily out of 4th place with that loss. They'll wait for the results of Team Liquid and Team Impulse later today to see if they still stand there. But they know that Gravity's right on their heels, 1 game back, I believe. Not a lot of room to go. Playoff spots very closely contested. Team 8 still have Cloud9 and CLG in their future games, but also Winter Fox and Gravity. So you feel like Team 8, the playoff race with 4 games to go, I think in control of their destiny, especially because they can knock down those teams at 7th and 8th.
Definitely a much better feeling than having to rely on the outcomes of other teams' games. Up next, we are going to see that clash that you mentioned between Team Liquid and Team Impulse, which will have big implications for Team 8.
Yeah, one's going to time for 5th, one's going to be alone in 4th place afterwards. And you got to say, who are we going to battle? Heck, who's, as you move on farther as well, who's going to be your first round playoff match if you make it there as well? So, okay, we'll watch teammates fights later on. We'll watch the other games with playoff implications later on today. TSM, they're done for the week. They're off the LCS for 2 weeks now. They're in first place for sure. They are 1.5 games above CLG, I believe.
CLG looking hot on their heels.
Yeah, sure.
Definitely winning their games in dominating fashion.
Yeah.
So.
And CLG play Coast. You expect them to stay within that one game there. Those are the two teams looking at first-round buys here in the playoffs. TSM, it's good to be able to get to experiment and then still stay in first place all the same. And you heard Bjergsen say, yeah, we got 1 or 2 styles that are good. Yeah. They added Lissandra in the back half of the split. That's obviously worked. I think he's 2-0 in that champion so far.
Yeah.
The Lissandra adaptation is good. The Cassiopeia stuff, the last Liquid when they did it, that wasn't too great. What other experiments have worked here? It seems like in the last game of the LCS, they said, okay, we'll try the Liss experiment one more time, make sure that is good. All right, well, time to go international, see if it works out for them.
Tried their hand at split pushing a little bit rocky, a little bit rusty getting back into it yesterday.
Yeah.
But Bjergsen did get some good exercise, and he should be confident split pushing once again.
Yeah. We'll see if that style does work out for TSM. But for an inside story on that match, send it down to Riv for a word with TSM's jungler.
Thank you very much, freaking Kobe. Fantastic cast so far. I am joined by Santorin here on the stage, winning side for Team SoloMid. You guys are still staying at the top. And a little birdie told me back on the analyst desk, it was Zyrene, that you had actually played Nidalee quite a bit before she had her change, and the team just didn't actually let you bring it out. What kind of brought on the idea that Nidalee was going to be the next new thing?
I don't really know. I felt like Nidalee was just a fun pick, and it was fun in solo queue, and you can basically carry the game alone. So I just felt like it was a really strong pick already before the changes. So when they changed to Nidalee, it was it just became way stronger.
And is that kind of always your mentality with junglers? You're looking for that next jungler that somebody might not have thought would be the next big thing?
A bit, but I don't really want to innovate too much, because I feel like sometimes people innovate too much, and then the champions they bring out, they're not good at all, but they just try to make them good. And I just want to find a few champs that are good and try bringing them out.
All right, and Santorin, the first showing for you at San Jose obviously wasn't that good. Going to Katowice now, you kind of get to go back home for a little bit, the home continent. How are you feeling about that? How's the team feeling about Katowice?
I feel pretty good about Katowice. Yesterday we played really sloppy, and we pretty much played really, really bad. So we felt really bad yesterday, but today we kind of stepped up and played the game we want to play. So I feel pretty good going into Katowice.
All right, and a final question. Obviously, Team WE for you guys first, but there's a whole slew of good competition over at Katowice. How are you guys feeling overall about that tournament?
I feel that we can I think we can still get first, but G-Tag is going to be really, really a tough opponent, because they haven't lost a single match yet, and they look really dominating. And we have had these sloppy games, but if we play our game the way we want to play it, then I think we can take them.
All right, best of luck in the preparation, the travel, and congrats on the win. We're going to throw it to the analyst desk to break down that game.
Thank you, Riv. And Nidalee, as he pointed out, one of many AP champions that found their way onto TSM's team comp there. Yeah. If you include the support, 4 AP relying on only Wild Turtle for that attack damage.
And the thing when you run a team composition like that is you really need your AD carry to do well. And Wild Turtle did well this game, not only in the pick of Sivir to be able to do a lot of AoE physical damage, because no one could build any magic resist, any armor because of the 4 AP champions. He was kind of set up for success. But if he would have been shut down, the team comp would have fallen apart. But TSM played it right.
Yeah, and we saw Bjergsen, though, also making plays on that Lissandra, actually being the person to shut down Cali Trolls. I think it was at some point Kobe said, or no, actually it was you, Jat. We were talking back here, and you're like, hey, I keep looking up going, oh, Dyrus is doing really well against Cali Trolls, and then realizing that it was actually a mid Lissandra that was roaming to the side lanes and getting these solo kills. So, nice to see them, as we've pointed out, bringing out some new picks, but performing well on them going into IEM this coming week.
Yeah, you see the teammate composition as well. This is a composition that really relies on Cali Trolls getting the Lich Bane as fast as possible and then split pushing, because he's kind of has a dis-synergy with everybody else on the comp. And it's usually a good idea when you're against teammate to camp Slushy early, make sure he doesn't get off the ground and dominate the mid game, because then he's very confident and makes plays. And then you go camp Cali and keep him down, because he's the shot caller of the team. And if you can put him on tilt, then you really kind of make teammate look like this disorganized mess.
Well, and they did
what
look
happened.
a little bit.
Yeah, it's exactly
I was
what
like, and
happened.
that's exactly what happened. Yeah, they did look like a bit of a disorganized mess. To your point, though, in the mid lane, Slushy has to be given a little bit of credit. We've said week in and week out that he's actually performing very well as an individual. Here, he gets his flash blown very early on in the game in that solo lane. Comes back, he's forced to back again, but does so safely and only manages to be behind by about 20 CS without a death coming out of lane.
Yeah, and I don't think this is a do or die situation for Team 8. The fact that they're able to come out of this week 1-1 when they're playing Team Liquid and TSM can be looked at as a success. It wasn't a bunch of dejected faces on Team 8's side after the game. I think they're going to be completely fine. They just ran into a pretty solid TSM team here.
Yeah, they're having a ton of fun, too. There was actually an interview that I watched with Travis and Slushy, and they were saying that all they do is play for fun for the most part. When they're scrimming, they're having a ton of fun. Dodo has to reel them in and say, stop trolling, you guys. You're having a little too much fun. But regardless of whether they win or lose, they're a team that's always looking forward and always looking to just add something else and just add a new element to their play style. So they're constantly improving, and they're having a ton of fun doing it, which I think is beautiful.
You see a little bit of that in their play style, and it becomes unbridled sometimes, right? And we notice that in individual misplays in a couple team fights. Maple Street going a little bit too hard in the paint there on Lucian, not necessarily recognizing the amount of damage he could
I need
deal.
to talk about that play. Just for Maple Street. Unfortunately, because Maple Street has been a guy, he made that big Graves play in their impulse win, but he's ultimately a guy who usually doesn't seem to do much in a game. We're always talking about Porpoise, Cali, Slushy, and Maple's just playing safe. It was a really poor play, and here's why. It didn't understand like he understood his damage. It didn't look like he understood his damage. He was a Trinity Force Bloodthirster guy. I can understand Lucian dashing in with IEPD, hoping he gets some crits and guns blazing, knock him down. You don't have much crit in a Bloodthirster Trinity Force build. He should know his damage output because he wasn't even close to getting that kill on Lysandra, and it was basically a suicide that he flashed into.
Yep. Yeah, and I think with that team, when you look at the fact that they have Cali Trolls and Slushy and then Porpoise stepping up huge, you've got enough individual playmakers. They really just need Maple Street to fall into that. You know, when the team does well, I'll be there as the supportive backline, and you know, he is successful in that role, and for him to kind of hold on to that. So we'll look to see whether or not they can kind of rein in a little bit of those unbridled moments. But as you stated, Jed, I don't think there's any cause for concern for Team 8. A very solid week for them. Solid victory for TSM moving into IEM. Now, coming up, we have a battle for 4th place between Team Liquid and Impulse. The former SKT T1 teammates, Piglet and Impact, say they have mixed emotions about facing each other in competitive play.
우린 처음으로 상대편을 만나는데 솔직히 시청자 입장에서 재밌지. 저는 좀 부담스럽거나 이런 건 있긴 한데 그래도 뭐 재밌는 경기 보여줬으면 좋겠어요, 서로.
저도 처음으로 상대팀에 SK 전 멤버가 있는데 뭔가 모르게 그냥 좀 뭔가 아쉽고 그냥 막 뭔가 만약에 죽일 타이밍에 나오면은 막 안 죽일 수도 있다는 막 그런 생각도 들어요. 막 너무
치지 마 죽일 거.
당연히 뻥이고요. 그냥 뭔가 좀 많이 아쉬워요.
Man.
I mean, it's nice to see the camaraderie between those two guys. It must be also very nice to have each other within the region.
Yeah.
As a support system.
They went through so much together. You can see that even though it was known that they weren't the closest members of SK Telecom, you can tell that bond runs pretty deep.
Yeah, absolutely. Well, keep it tuned right here. When we come back, we'll see how that matchup plays out. You're watching the NA LCS.
Heidi ho, everybody, let's go!
Let's go.
Let's go! Wahoo! Wahoo!
He's not going to miss. He does, but he's going to trade his life, I think. No, Dodo shows up, but Timbers turns it around. Shields come in. Jana saves him. And Bjergsen's now alone. Pops Zonius to buy some time. Slushy flashes out. There's the equalizer. It means 1. It means 2.
Can I eat? I'm gonna eat. Rek'Sai. Cali.
I'm dead.
Alright, we're fine.
One for one.
Jungler for support the other way. Maple goes in. Looks for Bjergsen. Wild Turtle trades him back. Double kill for Sivir. Porpoise falls as well. That's going to be TSM holding on to first place.